Okay, welcome to Kendo Podcast episode 139. In this episode, I want to talk about how to acknowledge the Ippon of your opponent in Jigeiko. Kendo Podcast by Hiro Mafuji from KendoGuide.com. Thank you for listening. This podcast is about Japanese martial arts Kendo for Kendo lovers and supported by Kendo enthusiasts through Patreon.com. Thank you for your support, guys. Please visit KendoGuide.com for more Kendo information and how to support KendoGuide.com. Thank you for listening. Welcome to Kendo Podcast episode 139. I think it's a bit too dark today, but I'm sorry about that. I accidentally hit the go live button, so I'm sorry. Everything is out of control now. All right, now there's a good question, actually questions from, I don't think I should tell his name because this was personal message, so I just say Brian, because I'm sure there are a lot of Brians out there. So this is a question. It's very, there aren't, it doesn't seem like there are no rules of reiho. Reiho is etiquette for when to recognize your aite. Aite is opponent's ippon in Jigeiko. And very subtle and confusing. So, when you're in Jigeiko, as you guys all know, Jigeiko is free sparring, but I don't like the way it's translated. But it is still keiko. It's sparring, but it's keiko. So you have to strike, not shiai keiko. Okay, we have a different term for that. So Jigeiko is to test yourself in training in the fighting situation, right? And then when your opponent hit you, right, get your strike, hit your say kote, all right, and then what you're gonna do there? Do you have to do something to them to acknowledge it, or or you got me, or do you have to do that, or you don't really have to do it? And that's very confusing if you weren't brought up in this kendo circumstance. Maybe it's true, and it's a very good question, and thank you for asking. So again, this is not shiai practice, so just hitting is not considered as ippon. Now, I think we have to really talk about different level. You really have to show, for example, when I do keiko with elementary school students, for example, let's say 11 years old, 10 years old, when they strike, maybe they're just striking because their body is moving and they're going for it. And it's Jigeiko, but it's still keiko, right? So they're not equal to you. So they keep striking. And then what I would say is, if actually good strike, meaning they have a good kihon, good kikentaichi, that was a good strike, as in you keep doing the same thing, keep doing that, emphasizing, reinforcing that behavior, so they know what they should be doing. And we tell them, don't do that. No, that wasn't good. Come on, your feet should be like this. Your strike should be like that. Very short comment on their strikes. And then they can fix while they are doing Jigeiko with you. So that is, giving feedback. It's not acknowledging the ippon to those who need to learn what's good, what's not good. So that is one thing. Now, let's say if I do Jigeiko with like fourth dan, for example. Fourth dan, and they're really good. Still we have to bring them we have to teach them how they should be doing Jigeiko, how they should be doing Kendo. In Jigeiko, in the situation of Jigeiko. So, it is important for them to know what is considered to be good strike, not Ippon. Ippon, as in, like I said, we have to really separate those two. And then, I hate saying this because it's always controversial. In Shiai, you have to judge Ippon or not Ippon. The first thing you have to know is if it's on the target or not, and then followed by good zanshin, right? And it really doesn't matter how you strike, a posture and everything. Of course, that has to be considered in your judgment or referee's judgment, but not so. It's very hard to explain. You have to give a point, right? So yuko yuko is effective. We can say valid cut, but okay, that was good enough. Somehow some standard has to go there, and then if you go over that standard, maybe you can get a point. But Jigeiko, for example, you're learning Kendo, right? Kendo, good posture, good kiai, and then kiken taichi pa pa. So in Jigeiko, you're really training what you learned in the fighting situation. So if you go pa, you're trying to hit with pretty bad posture, we have to fix those. So giving them the idea of, okay, if especially fourth dan, for example, they really have to understand the seme part of Kendo. So accidentally, if you strike, even if you strike, because yes, I mean I'm on live. If you strike by accident, for example, and go, caught it because he strike your sensei getting your man, and it happened to strike caught it like that, which is good. But your body moves. But for fourth dan, what you want to do is seme and then move your opponent and then strike. So of course, something has to be considered to be a good strike, but for fourth dan, even in Jigeiko, you really want to have a good seme and a strike. And then, accidental strikes always happen because your body moves, right? And then when your body moves and then strike like this, all right, probably your sensei won't say that was a good, strike because you went, like that. But you hit it, okay? Probably they say, oh, that was a good timing and it was well done, you get it, but you shouldn't be doing this kind of thing because it's a bad posture, right? So those keiko has to be like based on what we've been told not to do it, and don't do what you're not supposed to do, and then do keiko. So a lot of people, it depends really on what you think, your level. So if you are training lower grade holders, your kohai is your junior students, just go, okay, that was good. Giving feedback is very important, and good or bad. Oh, don't do it. Do this. Good. That was good. Oh, that wasn't good. Let's do it again. There's a good feedback, good motivation, and probably they'll like it and they can fix it like that. While they are training, And then let's say if you're going against your mate, right? For fourth down against fourth down, okay. And sometimes you know you get hit, but it was good. But you know what? Sometimes you know you get hit all the time, and you don't want to admit that they got it. So that's another thing. You can admit, oh, that was good, man, right? And then can let's do it again. Can you give me another chance? All right. So you can say that too. And the one thing you really have to understand is you really have to know what is how you considered, how you perceive Ippon. Is it Ippon when the higher grade holders sensei, like 8th dan sensei, 9th dan sensei in the past, when someone took their center and then go, okay, you won, I lost, you took my center. So that happened apparently in the past. Just he was taken center by other sensei and then go, okay, that's it, I lost. So that's another thing. And it's really hard. If you really think you get hit, probably you have to admit it. And especially when about the same grade holders, let's say fourth dan against fourth dan, maybe you should admit. And third dan, fourth dan, if you're training lower grade holders, let them win sometimes. Right? Sometimes, but always I was told, do not let them hit you before you, or just first you hit them. Okay, first you really have to get them first, and then let them strike you. Okay, so there are a lot of training methods, even in Jigeiko. And okay, so when do I recognize and when do I shouldn't recognize? So that's another thing I've been talking about. It depends on your opponent. It depends on your aite. So if you think if you call high, you have to give them feedback. And sometimes you don't want to admit. But if you're completely lost, I couldn't do anything. He manipulated me very well. That was a good strike. And then you have to admit. All right. And then Ippon shobu is always good. But Jigeiko, if you just get hit all the time, you hit and then you go, oh, that was good. Oh, that was good. If you keep saying that, it's keiko, right? So you just hold it in you, and you go, oh. And then you just have to bow. Okay. You go, man, they know that when they get it, right? Man, if you don't think they get it, because they go, man, if it's a sensei and turn around, you don't want to strike them. They take it they feel like they're offended by you, so you don't want to do it. But it's really, Ippon is very different from your perspective and their perspective, right? So that's very difficult. But usually you don't really have to go, oh, you got me, or you got me. Some sensei does it. Okay, so if sensei does it to you, that was very good. They are giving compliment. You don't have to do that to sensei, and then you don't want to do that to sensei. And if they go, probably you have seen sensei goes, oh, menwa, like that. And they go, if you think that he got, probably they got you. That's why they go, menwa. That means I got your man, right? Probably, and then you probably know they got you. So you go, yes, sensei, you did. You just bow. So it's not rude. But if you, and sometimes you see sensei going, menwa, and then this guy goes, no, like that. That's fine too. You don't want to admit, but you do have good relationship with that sensei. So, or You go, bah, you go, shit, man, and they go, man, what? And they go, one more Ippon place, that is allowed to say that. Okay, you're allowed to say that. I think maybe they will like it, but you're allowed to say that. If you keep saying no to them, it's obviously it's Ippon. I mean, in Jigeiko, it's you hit them, they hit you. It's it's accumulation of that Ippon. So you don't really have to all the time. You don't have to go. Okay, that was man. Okay, that was kote. You don't really have to do that. Okay, I mean, if you start doing that, you guys have to balance each other too much, and then you don't have any time. You're losing time to train. So you have to know you got it. You got hit. Okay, and Ippon shobu, you have to admit it. All right. So, and I really, what bothers me is a personal opinion. All right, my personal opinion. Like, probably you have realized if you have listened to my podcast, Kendo is really different even in Japan, from the north to the south, and it depends on who you learn from. Their background of Kendo, what background of a lot of things. It's different. Maybe police officer, you maybe learned Kendo from police officer, maybe from sensei, the teacher, school teachers, or just dojo. It's just different, right? And where who your teachers learned from is also important too. So those things change how they do Kendo, right? Determine how they do Kendo. So it's very difficult to say, oh, this is right and this is wrong. But through my personal, what do you call it, experience, Jigeiko is really, when you do Jigeiko with other higher grade holders, you gotta strike. You don't want to. It's not like I say free sparring. You really have to, let's say if I do Kendo with 7th dan sensei, maybe I'll do a little bit of kind of gokaku geiko. Gokaku is even. I know it's not even, right? I know. So I'm not really going, I'm not going, oh, okay, like sensei like Kendo. But still, I am older. I shouldn't be striking like students. So I have to follow the principle of Kendo, and I really have to go like that, right? So, and then if you get hit, oh man, I got hit, and they go man, take zanshin, and then they go, and they probably walk backwards, right? So that's good. And then so a few times maybe us until it's really different now. Used to be like you really have to strike more, and then I was younger before, so of course I have to change my Kendo. So I really do now don't strike much, and probably later on about halfway or the third. Three quarters maybe of Jigeiko, probably I start do striking a little more. And then when I was younger, if I do Kendo like I am even to them, that was bad. So it really depends on that, But now it looks like they do it now, but in some articles. They, as younger people, do Kendo equally to like 8th dan sensei. Go, yeah, and like they're shy. And a lot of sensei complain about it in the magazines. Kids, those students do Jigeiko like shy. They shouldn't be doing that. So, but that's a tendency. But what can I say? I mean, it's a tendency. If your school allows you to do that, maybe you're allowed to do it. But I want you to remember, keiko is keiko. It's not shiai practice, jigeiko. Okay, so you really have to challenge yourself. That is the bottom line. Now, is it is it rude to acknowledge Ippon from senpai or sensei? Yeah, don't do that. They know. When they get you, they know. Let's say Ippon shobu, maybe they get you and they go, no, that wasn't Ippon. Maybe they, with a smile, they deny you, but you don't have to go, oh, senpai, you got me, right? Sometimes when I do Jigeiko with my students, I get them first, right? But I don't want to stop there. So, man, and let's go. Was it a little bit light, too light? And then let's go, another one. So that happens. So I don't know how how my students see that, but that's what I do. And so long story short, in Jigeiko, just leave it to the higher grade holders. You don't have to go, oh, yeah, that's good. And what I was saying, I was going to explain what bothered me. What bothers me when I see Jigeiko, I mean, it's very important for you to know what considered to be Ippon. And then, like physically, what it looks like. If someone hit you on your head, it doesn't mean it's Ippon, right? So it's really make sure you go, and then they got it. So, and then I don't want everyone to do, oh, that was good. I don't like to, especially my students. My students I want them to keep going, and if they think, oh, that was good, they just think it in your head, oh, that was good. But I want them to keep going unless they're doing Ippon shobu. Okay, so, and then probably as an instructor myself, I have to let them do Ippon shobu and then let them decide who got what. So, and then they'll understand what's going on, maybe. So, when you do in Jigeiko, there's no etiquette about recognizing Ippon or not Ippon. Usually, higher grade holders know what they get and what you get, and you don't have to go like that. But your goal, students' goal is we have to make our teacher to go, that was a good kote, that was a good man, that was a good dog. Probably they won't do that, but that was a good dog. They bow to you, right? I got maybe one time or two times from my own sensei, Shisho, my master. How long have I been learning from him? More than 38 years. 38 years. Maybe one or twice. He got like that. Okay, so that when he bows, that was completely good situation. That was completely. I pulled him. That was kote strike. Like that, and he was coming for my man. I drew him. Maybe I wasn't planning to, but he came out and got strike kote, and then he went like that. So when that happens, as a student, I did a very good job. I won't be able to do it again, but I did a good job. So that is the aim. So again, absolutely no etiquette. When they go, when sensei goes, right, and if you keep going, and then they just go, treat you, they maneuver you, and then they want to get you again. So, but make sure when they are going, don't hit from the behind. All right. So that's not good. So when they go, just chase them. When he turned around, okay, and they go ready to go. And I don't know what they're gonna do. They might go, man, or kote. And they go, if you don't do anything, they go just quietly take Chudan again or take Jordan or whatever they are taking, all right? And then they're gonna start from there. Okay, I don't think they'll will take it offended, take it offensive. But certainly you don't want to go, oh man, hotel or something like that. Don't do that to your sensei, especially your sensei. Senpai, maybe it depends on your relationship, and especially Jigeiko, Ippon Shobu, you do that. Okay, senpai, you got me. Thank you. And the senpai goes, no, that wasn't Ippon. Okay, let's do it again. Do it. So that's probably how. There are no written rules, etiquette. Even to Japanese people, we learn in the situation, while we are training. So I understand it's very difficult for people, especially late starters, or if you start kendo outside Japan. Yes, it is very hard. But as students, just go for it, and then maybe they say no, don't do that, or something like that. They will tell you if they are good teachers and if they're confident to talk to. But just don't strike behind, or when they go just don't be too aggressive while they're taking zanshin. All right, and if they hit it, you have they get it, right? Right? And you just do your best. All I'm saying is don't hit them behind their back, head, or just don't be too aggressive when they are taking. Even though they show your back, hikido, for example, they're showing their back. You shouldn't be striking their back of their head. But me personally, I sometimes sometimes muck around. I screw around a little bit. To some people, it looks like I'm playing around. Maybe I am playing around, but sometimes like a dog and run around and they chase me. But I know they're trying to hit me, right? So I'm careful if they come. And then by the time I turn around, I can see them coming. So they're not gonna hit. They're hitting here, but I can duck or something. So if you are the senpai and doing something like that, you have to know that they might hit your head, in the back of your head. I'm fully aware of it, and then because I'm aware of it, I'll make sure they won't hit my head, back of my head. But they do that. That's okay because I'm playing around, So I deserve it if they hit me on my back of my head. I don't want them to, but it's not something happens. So it really depends on how your sensei sees it or how your senpai sees it. It's a dojo thing, dojo rule, dojo atmosphere. But again, to sum up, if it depends on what you're doing. If you're a senpai, your standing position. Are you a senpai training your kohai, or are you a sensei training your students? Or are you doing gokaku geiko, equal level keiko, or are you doing ippon shobu in Jigeiko? And so it depends on what you're doing. Now, to sensei, you don't have to acknowledge it. Okay, they know what they're doing, so just leave it to them. All right, and thank you for listening and watching, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Make sure, if you're a YouTube person, I upload podcasts, as probably to the podcast 1 week after I broadcast to this podcast to the members at Patreon. So subscribe to YouTube if you need to, and you can listen to Kendo Podcast at iTunes as well. So however you want to listen to it, you can listen to this podcast. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next podcast. I would like to send special thanks to patrons for their constant support through patreons.com/Kendo For Life.